Thanks, everybody. This is Vincent Meza, and this is our class on top tools to get more listings. So before I get into kind of what we're going to get into, I always like to talk about the resources here. Listings to Leads is a platform for realtors to help you get more business, to help you get more buyer leads or more seller leads or both. And it doesn't matter if you have listings or if you don't have listings. There are just a lot of tools here that can get overwhelming, right? When you log into our platform, we interact with a lot of CRMs, we interact with a lot of social media platforms, we do a lot. And so I always like to talk first couple of minutes about what resources are here for you as you're learning, right? The first one is our mastermind group. It is a private group in Facebook. If you're not in it, you cannot find it. Okay. You won't see it. So to get in it, you log into your listings to leads account and you go into your support page down on the bottom left. We will log into mine here real quick. And you run and you go here to support, which is somewhere down here. Yeah. And just ask them to get you into the mastermind group. Okay. So that's first. Definitely get in there. It's where Scott and I share a lot of what's going on in terms of, what's new, what we're launching, but also it's where our clients talk about what's working and, with the questions that they have, they're getting leads or things like that. Right. Another great resource, I'm going to send you a link right now, is our YouTube channel. And frankly, I think this is one of the best things available to all of you. And obviously being on live classes like today is good because if you have questions, you can ask and then I can answer, right? If you see something blinking on your GoToMeeting little thing, that is the link to this channel that I just sent you. So open that up and save that and hold on to that. And I'll talk about this in a minute. Another great resource. Well, actually, let's just stay right here. There are 3 classes that I always recommend to everybody here. One is Get Started. It's the number 4th class here on the right. Okay. And Get Started is for our new clients to tell them like, hey, this is how you connect everything. Here's how you turn on the automation. And here are some things you can do. We talk about landing pages, listing marketing, and ads, right? But we talk about it pretty high level because we can't go in deep detail on that class because it's only an hour. But if you want deep detail on Facebook and Google ads, the third call here really gets into that. If you look at the little text underneath, you'll kind of know what my focus is on those classes. So here's how to create landing pages for Google ads, right? So that is something that I may try to do right now as we're going to do this call. And then top tools to get more listings is the last time I did this, which is 2 weeks ago. And you'll just see that I rotate through these 3 topics. Now, Scott's doing an 8-part course on how to make $250,000 in real estate. And it's actually really worthwhile to attend. You can watch it here or you can sign up for it on our lead gen webinars page. But I would recommend that you take some downtime and get more familiar with our platform. If you do, I think you're going to get a real solid return on that investment of time. And this is one of the best places. If you want to be on a live call, find leadgenwebinars.com and you can sign up for all the classes, including this class that we're doing right now, right? So this is leadgenwebinars.com. I'll send it to everybody on the call right now. And let's see here, get that over to you. That should be in your system there. And that's it. We've got a great support team. I mentioned that at the beginning. They are super helpful with a lot of answers right away. Our mastermind group's a great place to learn more, our YouTube and our live classes. Those are the ways to kind of get, your arms around our platform. So one thing that I asked, and I've known this because I've been asking this question to our clients for a while, is who here has run ads on Google, right? And most of you have not, right? Some of you have Google ad accounts, but many of you have not run ads on Google. And you know what? I myself have never run an ad on Google. and I don't even have an ad account, right? So I think if you don't mind, and I'd like to ask right now, if you don't mind watching me bumble my way through Google, I'm going to try and set up my own account and run an ad. I may stop because who knows, it might get too complicated. But if you're okay with watching that progress, maybe we'll all learn something together. Before we get into all that, I'm going to say this. I just want to tell you about our top tool. This class is how to get more listings. And our top tool right now is actually a piece of paper. Okay. So if you go to your listings, and you can borrow listings to get this tool, you can actually go to grab active listing, and you certainly would probably need permission to borrow the listing. But then it will sit here and you click on this green button that says market listings. And there's a tool called a nearby homeowner letter. And this is a really simple kind of tool. It is I'm going to download it right here. It is a single piece of paper. All right. Our clients have used this. They can download it and door knock it. Some people have hand stuffed it into envelopes and mailed it first class, and all these great ways of getting it into the market. And this tool is the number one tool for getting more listing leads. I'm sorry, more listing leads that turn into listing contracts. Now, the point of this call today, the point of this class is the top ways to get listing leads, right? So there are going to be many ways to get listing leads, but none convert faster than this piece of paper if you get it into your market. Okay. So I'm going to just start here before we get into the Google thing, because I definitely want everybody to be looking at this and understanding more about it. And there's 3 names that I'm going to recommend that you write down and research in our mastermind group. And these are the names: Dustin Fox. Now, Dustin is part of one of our largest office clients. He came in here. They're just south of DC, but he was doing this in Maryland. He takes that simple letter, he puts it in an envelope with a little calendar of him and his wife, and he mails it to 250 homes. He even made a little one-page Zillow deal of his reviews, and he mails it to 250 homes for $625 first class, so that people make sure to open it. That's an important thing. And he pulls 10 listings for 17 grand commission each, right? So he comes in and said, this is our highest ROI. I would read what's being in, there's over 200 comments in here. I would read those things because there's a lot to learn from the other agents that are using that tool. Another person I'll just show you is Alicia Pless. Alicia has come in here, and just every time she mails that thing out, she gets more listings. The thing that I'm glad she took one of my classes and she heard what I was saying and really has shown us how she applies it. If you're mailing this into your community and it looks like junk mail, like a normal white envelope, it's not likely going to get opened. And if it stands out, if it looks like high quality, or even in this case, just a different color, that tends to get open more. And Alicia will tell you this time and time again, because she tells us this in the mastermind group. That's one of her most successful ways of getting more listings. Now, the last one is a little more recent. Chris Winstead. I talk about him often. And I think the reason why I do is because he gives an awesome formula, right? Awesome recipe. So this guy moves from out of state into Texas a couple summers ago. And he comes in and he says, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months with your tool, right? With one tool. And it was the nearby homeowner letter. And he says, yeah, I mail it out every 2 weeks to all my neighbors who have owned their homes for 5 years or more. And once they opt in on the home valuation part, I hit them up every week, right? With phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. And that is the recipe that I think everybody should start to sort of look at. Now, all these people I've named have been working with us for years. And if you're just getting started, you have an advantage that they don't have. And that is that just a few months ago, Scott and I developed a partnership with a company called Express Copy, right? So Express Copy, you could print and mail, click this button here, and you can send this letter to Express Copy, and you can say, hey, I want 100 or 200, or you decide how many pieces. I want them to go to that neighborhood, that zip code, or that city, and I want those people to have had at least 5 or 10 years equity, right? So that's exactly what this guy did, but he had to do it by hand. He had to go find a list from Remind, and there are other companies that'll do it, but Remind's one of those companies. And he had to stuff his envelopes and do all that. And now he can just go set up an account with Express Copy and tell them to do it. So we've made it a lot easier, and we're really excited about that because that is our best performing tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. And we're doing everything we can to make it easy. All right. So we're going to come back to this listings page because there are other tools, but I really want to talk about Google because when we talk about the top tools, this is the number one tool. And another tool, just to give you an example, would be to like go run an ad on Facebook on sold properties or what is your home worth or whatever, right? I'll get into all the ways of using Facebook, but there's a big difference from Facebook as there is to Google. And I want everybody to sort of understand this one. Oh, what? He's kicked out. Great. Okay. So we got kicked out of our Facebook account, so I don't want to mess with that. Let me show you something before we kind of dive into Google. So let's look at the top websites in the United States. Oh, they closed that. Okay. That was owned by Amazon, and I guess they just stopped supporting that page. Top website traffic in the US. Okay. And this will be one. I guess I've looked at this before. The number one site is Google. Number two is YouTube, and then Facebook, right? So that's really why we have to think about Google, right? And I think if I just ask the question, I'm pretty sure the majority of you have run ads on Facebook, right? It's easy. You can get buyer leads really easily here. So many gurus have been training on this. So many people talk about Facebook, and it's awesome. I've been training on it since Facebook is at an ad platform, right? We've been training our clients, but there's a big reality that we don't talk about and that you should know. It's that 86% of all searches begin on Google. People don't go to Facebook and ask, how do I sell a home? But they definitely come to Google and ask all those kinds of questions, right? So I definitely want you to understand that, right? Some of you have ad accounts, some of you don't, some of you never run an ad, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to do another quick search here on the top search terms to sell my home. And I think I have something here. Let's go here. I found this article a couple of months ago. Yeah. And I want to bring it to your attention. I'll send it to you right now. I think it's something that you should hold on to, especially when you are thinking about Google. And I'll explain to you why in just a moment. I'm going to send it to everybody right now. Okay, get out of here. Send all. There we go. Okay. So what this has, it shows you the keywords that people are searching on Google as of October, which is, and I'm sure you could get this refreshed at some point, or there's some other company that'll do it, but this is the kind of thing you want to think of. These are the top buyer searches. Okay. So this is what people are coming to and asking for on the internet, on Google. Okay. If you go down, you scroll down, you're going to see what top homeowners are searching on. These are the keywords: selling a house, cost of selling a house, how to sell by owner, taxes, capital gains, right? This is what people are thinking about. And you might want to hold on to this. And as you start using Google, get into, you want to be leveraging that. So let's see if my Google ad account is here, if it's connected. Yeah, so it looks like we are. I've got a sold property and I'm going to run an ad on Google, and we're going to go look at Google in a minute. And to run an ad is a big, messy experience. But to run an ad right here is pretty easy. This is, I don't know if you followed what I did because I was kind of talking. I'm going to back up. I'm going to go now. Obviously, you've got to connect to Google. So when we come here for the first time to our ads page, it's going to ask you to connect to Facebook and connect to Google. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on a listing ad. You can do landing page ads, PDF guide ads, even custom ads. But just on the listing ad, if you market a home that is sold or pending or under contract, this would essentially create an ad for a homeowner, right? So I'm going to market the sold property and it says create an ad. And it says you can get a free valuation, right? So it's really just like you're using that sold property to offer a free home value. Now, when we click on advanced options down here, and you don't need to do this, you're going to see that we have all kinds of keywords already put in there, right? And those keywords are actually coming from resources like this because we're going out and looking, well, not that one, we're looking here and making sure that we're using the keywords so that you don't actually need to put them in when you're using our system. If you're going to go to Google yourself and go run an ad, then you want to know these keywords and put them in. But if you're using our system, we're looking at these and other resources like this to make sure we're staying on top to make your ads work. Okay. So let's go over to Google and I'm going to kind of see what happens and to do this. So first of all, I'm going to send all of you this link. And if you're watching this on a recording, I recommend that that didn't work. I recommend that you just go do this search. I'm going to read it to you in just a second. This is what I just sent you is a link to this. And since most of you have not run ads, I would recommend you look at this. Now I was looking at this top one just on how to set up a Google ad account. And what it says is that I can tell you, we're going to go do it in a moment. It's easy to set up, but the very first thing it tells you is we need a website because it's going to make you run an ad right then and there. Okay. So I'm going to go walk over and do it. And I think you have to go to this website, which is ads.google.com. Yeah. So ads.google.com, right? And this is where you create a Google ad account. So I'm going to go do that. And let's see. So bear with me because I have never done this. And this is what it will look like for you if you've never done it, right? So I'm going to say start now on the top right. And I click that. And to navigate anywhere, hit G or T. I think it's doing something. So let's give it a second. Okay. Okay. So it's funny. This page, which I've seen before, it's taking a moment to log in. Hopefully my internet's not completely dragging here, but it's just as complicated as the Facebook ad manager, right? Now you can see here, there's no data because I've never been here, right? And it says, oh, I guess I can't still, I'm going to reactivate. Okay. So it's saying here, this is my old one. I'm going to click reactivate. It's looking at one of my old emails. So you could, if you didn't have an old account, it would just tell you what email address do you want. And I'm going to say, I think I clicked reactivate. Okay, cool. Okay. Your account is reactivate my account. Okay. What's this? Sorry, guys. So now we have, this is what it's going. I don't even know what that is. I'm just going to click save. See if this will work. Okay. Google Ads policy percent. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like I can kind of, well, let me see. Can I go run an ad? That's really what I wanted to do. Preferences, search, top tools, Google Ads. Okay. So it is enabled. And so it's going to say, let's start a new campaign. Right. And that's really, now, if you'd done it the first time, it would tell you like you're going to have to start a campaign just to start the account. So I'm going to do something here for web traffic, right? Now, and the reason why I'm doing this, what I'm showing you here is we're going to do a display ad. Actually, no, we'll do a search ad. And just so you know, if you don't know what a search ad is, I'm going to do how to sell my home, right? And when we go to Google, a search ad is these, you see these ads on the left? That's what this is. A display ad is showing up over here on the right as something. Now, what I'm doing here is showing you what's going to happen when you set up your own account, because it's going to tell you, like, okay, you want to start an account, you got to run an ad. That's the first thing it does. So what is your business website? Now, you may not have a website, or you might, right? But I can tell you, if you have a real estate website, you might want to just send traffic to it just for the fun of it and see how it's going to work, right? One website that I think you're going to want to be sending traffic to is one of our landing pages, right? Now, might be feeling long and confusing. I'm not going to stay here too much, because what I'm doing is setting up the Google account. And when you set up a Google account, it tells you to make an ad right there. Like, you just don't set it up and then walk away. To finish the setup, you have to create an ad. Okay. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm just grabbing a landing page from my listings to leads account. And I say, yeah, I want to send traffic here. Okay. And do I want to do conversion things? Not just yet. Not just yet. And that's a little bit next level. We're just going to go here and create the ad. And Google can't complete. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say I want clicks and set a maximum. I'm not going to set a maximum here, because you could hurt yourself. Well, now, here's why. Let's see here. Yeah. Clicks. I want clicks because I want people to get to my website. I'm going to just skip that. And I'll tell you why. If you might say, hey, I want to set a maximum of $5 a lead, right, per click. But what you don't know is Google charging $10 a lead, right? Like, if that click costs $10, and you say, well, I'm only going to spend 5. Well, you might not get any leads because you put that. So, and so these are the settings in English. Really? Okay. So they're just going to make you gotta do this stuff here. So I'm going to say English because I'm pro. That's really the language I'm best with. Now you can do more, but I'm just going to go next, and it should get to a place where it's going to ask, oh, here's some keywords that it's saying, let's use that. I might put my own keywords. Now, these keywords, it's pulling from the landing page, right? The landing page already has some built in the back, but I might say, how do I sell my home? Right. And this is new kid. Okay. I don't care. Sorry, guys. Leave. So, but you're putting in keywords, and this is because we're doing it by hand. This is where you can do that. So you can change this, you can customize these kinds of things, and it'll show up here, right? Very similar, if you haven't recognized, when we're running an ad in listings to leads, like I'm showing you on the Google platform how to create that first ad. You have to create that first set. But once you've created that, you've done one, and you could have it expire in 1 day or 2 days and just see how it goes. Once you've done that, I really recommend that you do your work from here, because if you say, hey, I want to run a landing page ad like the one that Vince's is trying to do, and I decide to use my property valuation for Pacific Grove and create an ad, the difference is night and day, right? Because you've seen me just sort of fumble around to create that ad on Google, whereas all I have to do is choose a landing page here and click publish, right? That's the difference. That's why you should be using our Google system here, right? So does anybody have any questions about this? Now, if for this far, for where we've gone right now, right? Because all I've done is I've kind of created and activated my account. I'm not going to drag us through doing all this because it'll sort of lead you. You gotta add some stuff. And what you're doing is creating the lines that are going to show up in this box over here, right? Like if I type in, how do I sell my home? It's probably going to show up over here in that little preview pretty soon, right? And that's really what we're after. And you can kind of, work on that and tweak that. You do have to do this one time just to activate your account. A lot of you on the call actually have Google accounts, but you've never run ads. If that's the case, come to Listings to Leads, come to the ads page, connect your Google account. And I don't recommend that you use Google to run the ad because you can do it much easier here, right? And the only thing that I think you need to think of, like if you want to see where it's going, you can click on view link and you'll see that it's one of our landing pages that you've chosen, and we're driving people to this, and this is going to do the work. Okay. And when we click on, $10 a day is your budget, you can increase that, you can lower that. That's your max budget. And then it goes for a month, right? You don't have to run an ad for a month. And if you've never run an ad before, I honestly don't recommend you run an ad for a month. I recommend you run it for a week, right? And see what's happening. Because if you get no results in a week, you've done something wrong. Okay. And if you are getting results in a week, you can always go back and restart that ad. You can add more money if it's the kind of, reaction that you were hoping to get. But we just do it simply 30 days, $10 a day. I don't really even know the cost per lead for seller ads, right? For seller leads. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I did mention it to the guys that we have that daily budget is $5. And I was like, there's no seller lead from Google that's priced under $5. So what are we doing? Anyway, that's all something that we've all got to learn together. Does everybody understand what I am talking about? Or are you lost in space? Yeah, it's better to run the ad from L to L. Definitely. Definitely. Okay. So you guys are getting it. Sounds like you're getting it. It's just, if you've ever run an ad on Facebook, it's 4 pages and a dozen boxes you got to check to have a successful ad. Well, similarly on Google, you can see over here, it's like there's a lot of things going on. And somehow that disappeared, but there's a lot of steps to run an ad on Google to work in their deal. You don't need our software to do it, but we make it really easy. We turn it into one spot. There is one area. So what I've talked about is adjusting the time and the budget, right? If you're starting to run your own ads, and it sounds like a lot of you have Google accounts. So I would tell you, this is something that you have to do in 2023. And it really doesn't matter what industry you are in, meaning you could be selling cars, you could be selling lemons, you could be selling eyelashes or homes or home valuations. Whatever industry you're in, Google should be in your business strategy. So somebody asked a question, what about the location tab? So this is definitely something that we all have to do. Wherever you are, like this is Pacific Grove. This particular page is Pacific Grove. So you should type in Pacific Grove. And I wonder if it's going to come up. Let's go look. It does. Okay. So Pacific Grove is a little part of Monterey. And that's what you should be doing. So it's going to be targeting, and it tells you don't use postcodes or zip codes. You have to use a city. And like I said, you can view the link and you'll see the tool we're driving to, and then boom. Now, there's only one thing that I would recommend that you look at, and that is this. When you click on advanced options, you look at these keywords and make sure that you've gone off. You don't have to, but that thing that I was showing you of the top keywords of sellers, I would do a little research there because you want this to work well. So it's always worthwhile to go just have a quick scan and make sure you know what homeowners are thinking about right now. Okay. And then you can add that and boom, you can publish. So let's talk about this. And we're really going to get in depth now. We're going to do a comparison to Facebook on this, right? So if I click on view link, you can tell that it's going to drive me to this page. And I don't know if you know how this page works, but let me show you. You type in an address, and it could be any residential address in the United States. Hold on, Gloria, I'm working more with buyers, how to market from L to L without listings. Okay, we're going to get into that, Gloria. So just hold on a second. Actually, what we're doing right now, you can do without listings. This is a home valuation landing page. You do not need a listing. You just create a landing page like this for every farm market you're in. And the point of this class, Gloria, I think is to get more listings. And what I am telling you is this is one of the smartest ways to do it. You create a landing page for your town and you go run an ad on Google. Literally, this is going to be one of the top things that I recommend. Okay. So the way this page works is you get it in front of somebody. You could get it in front of this page in front of somebody on a piece of paper and door knock it. You can get this page in front of somebody by wearing a sandwich board, or you can run an ad on Google, right? These are all options. And when I do it on Google, when they click on the ad, they're going to land here. And the first question is, what's your address? And under target areas, can you select people? No, Robert, I don't think you can. So you really don't have, one of the questions is, can you target people living in this area, or are they looking? No, I don't see the kind of targeting that, there is here. They're regularly in this area. You can't target, are they homeowners or stuff like that. So these are the two things that you can use, and you might want to test out both of those. But however you get there, you're driving people to this page. They type in their address. As long as it's in the United States, you can click this green button. And what? Okay. So yeah, this is asking me. That's a funny setting that he has. What that did is that grabbed my name and email and delivered it to the agent. And then it says, okay, why are you interested? Normally, we don't have that setting. And I just say, oh, I'm thinking about selling. And so what we're doing is we're showing you your home on a map, and we say, view my report, right? Now, some people will click that log in with Facebook. They don't realize that they're giving you their name and email, right? And this is what they see. And you as the agent sees this too. So we give this broad range of this is what your home is worth. And then blah, blah, blah. There's more stuff here, right? But now you have this information, right? And that is running a traffic ad on Google, right? So we're running an ad, we're using keywords, we're targeting an area, we have a landing page that speaks to that area. And this is where 86% of all people go when they have a question. This is why these leads convert higher, okay? So if you capture 100 leads, well, I can tell you this. I was talking to a team at some conference, and they said, yeah, we convert 1 out of 40 Google leads. We convert 1 out of 70 Facebook leads, right? I don't know what that's going to be for you. It might be a higher number or a lower number, but you can kind of see, and there's always the general consensus that Google leads are more valuable than Facebook leads. They typically cost more per lead too. Here's a good question. This is US specific. Can it be done in Canada? It sure can. Yes, it can be done in Canada. Google is a worldwide platform. What cannot be done is that we cannot give an instant valuation in Canada. I think have privacy laws and stuff like that. So those data sets aren't floating out there that we're seeing, but you can customize the page to gather the contact info. And then you could say, I will get that number for you. I will get you a value. So Jamie, yeah, you can create a custom seller landing page. Let's go over there and look at that together. You all have a landing page section in your account. And when you come here, you always have 3 landing pages pre-designed, like free home values, new construction, and down payment assistance. You could click edit and get a picture and put it in the background so that this looks like your local Canadian town, right? But you should, all of you, customize this. The picture should be 2,000 pixels wide in a landscape format because this is your key landing page. And if it looks generic, it's not going to help you as much. But in Canada, because we can't do that instant valuation, I would click this green button. I mean, look, this is how you create a landing page. Property Valuation Plus is the instant home value page. All of you in the US should probably have a handful of these pages. One for Beverly Hills, one for Santa Monica, one for Pasadena, right? All your neighboring towns. But you in Canada, we can't give you that instant valuation. So create a custom landing page for sellers, and we'll just call it Toronto, right? And create a landing page. And this, Jamie, is how you create that landing page. And this will not give an instant valuation. It's going to have some kind of gobbledygook. Let's see if I can find it here. But we need to rewrite this because we just never thought this one through. It's going to have this language over here on the right about down payment assistance. Honestly, it should really just tell you, click lead form text over here and change this to whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like, if I click here and I say VA Canada, and I click save, that's going to change that language in the blue box to the right. And you can add things in here, right? Like, one thing that is really great about custom landing pages is there's this custom page content. And actually, I remember years ago, I did something with a Canadian office and their lender. They had this side-by-side video of some mortgage program that was being offered in Canada. And so we went over here and we put video, and we grabbed a video from YouTube that they had already created, right? And so all of you might have kind of company, content. You might create your own content, right? I don't know who all these crazy people, but this is how you do it, right? You go here. There's a little web address up here that says YouTube, whatever, right? You copy this. Right. Like, there are realtors out there that are comfortable creating YouTube content. I hope you guys all get comfortable with that, because you can run ads on YouTube as well, and that's a #2 website in the country. So, really the goal is, and we don't say it like this, but our goal at Listings to Leads is to create tools that capture leads for you and put them in a lot high traffic areas like social media. YouTube is the #2 channel. I'm not even talking about YouTube, but it is a real deal. So here, I could say, hey, you know what? I want to paste that super cool video that I have. And when I save it, I hit the wrong button, of course. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, it snaps that video in here. And now you can say, okay, well, now I've customized my page, and I'm going to go over here to my, Google account inside Listings to Leads and drive traffic to it, right? That's really what I think everybody, honestly, it may not be today, but you need to have this in your wheelhouse for 2023. Like I said, 86% of all searches begin on Google. People don't come here to Facebook and ask, how do I sell my home? Right? That's not what it's about. Facebook is where you go see your friends, right? And you see the pictures of your grandkids and you see where they're traveling and you see what they're eating and all of that fun stuff, right? It's fun stuff. It's great. It's why people spend 40 minutes a day, every day. Adults spend 40 minutes a day on here. Here's my buddy Anton with his redneck video, which is how this guy gets his truck up on the trailer. This is the kind of nonsense that keeps people here. And that's a good reason or a good place to kind of transition to why Facebook is a big deal, right? Now, our Facebook account is not connected. So I'm going to jump into one of our clients. This is a live client that I set up at the end of October of last year, right? So this account is what? It's not even 8 weeks old. No, 9 or 10 weeks old. This is how old this account is. Now, their goal is to get buyer leads for their agents in North and South Carolina. So they're running ads on listings that are just getting leads, right? But you got people all over the place. Let's see here. I see a question by Richard, and let's look at that. When it comes to the PM fee to use Google Ads, how does that work in our brokerage account? Yeah. So Richard, you're part of a big office account? What office is that, Richard? So we do have team accounts, we have office accounts, and we have single agent accounts. And there is a cost to use the Google software where you'll see, oh, Richard, forgive me, Lord of mercy. It's been a while. Richard, okay, so let me just finish what I was saying. If you come here to the first time and you're a single agent, it's going to cost you $30 to add the Google software to the platform. Richard, you should email me because team accounts and office accounts, we have a discounted pricing model because there's just that volume of agents. So email me on that, and then we turn it on and it's active for all agents. Or you can say, hey, agent, go over there and just pay for your own Google stuff, right? So there's that. So what we're looking at here is a live account. And I just want to point out some stats because this is for getting buyers. So these guys are not focused on getting sellers. In 10 weeks, they've run 110 ads. They spent nearly $10,000 and they have almost 4,000 leads, 3,600 leads in 10 weeks. Their business pages also have been seen over 500,000 times. That's a really valuable thing about Facebook is building brand where people spend 40 minutes a day and getting leads, right? Now, like I said, these guys are focused on getting buyer leads. So we're not going to talk too much about that, but that's what can happen with Facebook right now in this crazy market that we're in. But on Facebook, there are 3 kinds of ads that you can run to get seller leads: listing ads, landing page ads, and PDF guide ads. You can also do custom ads, but honestly, I'm not even going to talk about custom because that's coming out of your brain and you must have some reason for doing that. But we have really awesome custom ad software that you can do just about anything you want. If you're trying to get listing leads, you want to focus on properties that are under contract or sold. So let's just do a sold one first, or pending, right? Now we got an extra step here because I'm in an office account, but don't worry about that. My email address is vince@listingstoleads.com. So if you do need a team account or you need an office account or a national partnership, then I'm the guy you got to talk to. So here I've got a property that's sold and I just chose the property and the ads already says, hey, that home is sold. It's going to affect your home value. Click here for a free value, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about lead capture. And I want everybody to understand what I am saying. Okay. I'm going to back up because this is how easy it is to do it. But there's a couple of nuances and there's a discussion inside listings to leads, like, Scott and I talk, or Scott talks to our ads people, and then people in the mastermind group say, hey, what about sending traffic? So let's do it one more time. We're going to do a listing ad and we're going to do it on a property that's sold. because we want seller leads. And there's this question of lead ads or traffic. Okay. So when we were doing the ads on Google, we were driving traffic to the page, and the page does work. One thing I forgot to tell you, because I'm so easily distracted today, is that many people will leave your page before they give you an email address. The minute you ask them for anything like a phone number, if you ask them for a phone number where they have to type it in themselves, you will cut your lead gen by 90 to 95%. Even 99%, like zero, you get no results because you've asked them for a phone number. If you require it, you definitely are going to just crush your lead gen. It's just not going to happen. I can tell you this because we've been doing this for 13 years and we've been capturing leads forever. And that's what I see happening. Okay. So what really got exciting is when we did lead ads, because lead ads is a form. When people respond to the ad, this form pops up, says, do you want that info? And there's only one answer, yes. And their phone name and email is pre-populated from their Facebook profile. So they don't have to type it in. And often people just say yes. Okay. So the option here is, do you want the lead information from the page, from Facebook profile, or do I want to send them to a web page where they're going to type it in themselves, where Vince is already telling me I'm not getting that phone number? That's for dang sure. Right. So that's your kind of, you should be thinking about that. What I'm trying to tell all of you is, unless you really know what you are doing to drive traffic to a website, if you're doing an ad on Facebook, use lead ads. We're going to do a property that's sold. We kind of already were going there, but I just had to stop because it's so important that you understand what's going on here. So this is sold. It's already got the location. It's already got a budget. It's going to run for 7 days. You could even say display to all past leads. That's something new we've added. And you can publish, right? And that's going to get, people are going to click this. And it's like, do you want that information? Do you want that free home value? And it's going to say yes. And I think it's going to pre-populate name, email, and phone number. And you're going to get that. Now, what I don't think happens is that we give them the valuation, right? I don't think we do that. And I'll go verify that. I think we just capture the information, and you should then say, hey, I saw that. Yeah, we don't, because we don't ask for their address. We can't actually require their address. So without their address, we can't actually get their information. So you got to ask yourself, what is more important in a lead? If you like to convert leads, is it important to have their email address and address, or their email address and their name and their phone number? For me, having a phone number, it means you're more likely going to convert that lead. You can text them, right? You can email them. When they're comfortable with you, you can call them. But if you're just operating from an email address, you got a lot longer time where you can go. What's to use for active listings? Janice, can you re-ask that question? I don't know. When you're doing an active listing is designed to get buyers, okay? Not sellers. The point of this class is how to get listing leads. And so running ads on sold properties is one of the first ways. Now, you can also run ads on properties that are under contract. And I would recommend that you test that out, because these are coming in as the cheapest leads that we've seen for sellers. Okay. And let me show you what I mean, right? So when we run an ad, and this one's under contract, you know that I said we've got a $50 budget. We set that budget. That's the maximum budget. Okay. Yeah. So that's the maximum budget for the ad. So it says lifetime budget, $50 right there, right? It's going to run for a week, and you cannot spend more than $50. That's it. That's the max. But now that this home is under contract, our call to action is talking about that affects your home value. So get your home value by responding to this ad, right? That's pre-written. All you got to do is click publish. Okay. And what we have found this summer, in the summer of 2022, our clients are telling us that they're getting home value leads with name, email, and phone number at $2.40 each. Okay. And that's because Facebook sets the cost per lead, right? Listings to leads does not. We put the top budget, $50, 7 days. But Facebook is going to say, well, that lead costs $5 or $10 or whatever. And they don't really know what to say about under contract or pending. They just don't know how to price it. And that's why they price it so cheaply at $2.50. So a $50 ad is going to get you, if it's $2.50, what is it, like 20 leads, right? Or something like that. So if you run an ad that's sold, Facebook knows that that's a more important lead, and they charge you $5, $6, $7 a lead. So now the same $50 might get you 8 or 9 leads, right? And going down the path. And if you have questions, put them in. I see a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to answer them in just a moment. Another great Facebook ad to get seller leads is a PDF guide ad. We have 80 PDF guides for each of you. You are branded on every page of every one of these. Okay. And there are 40 for buyers and 40 for home sellers. So if we're trying to get home sellers, maybe we should talk about the 5 dangers of overpricing right now. That's kind of relevant, right? So I just click create an ad, a lead ad, because I really like pre-populated name, email, and phone number. And in this case, you got to type in a location like Santa Clarita, right? You know, Richard, I was just thinking, yeah, Janice, you're saying that you like the PDFs. I think they're great because they do a couple of things. Well, one, that, like I said, there's 80. 2, you're branded on every page. And 3, like we're talking about lead gen and ads, but honestly, what we're really trying to do is to make sure everybody in your market knows that you are a real estate resource, right? Like you are the person with the knowledge. And now you've got 80 reports. You should be running an ad on these at least every other week on any report you want, because there's so many different topics that people go, oh my God, that person had something about curb appeal, or they had something about divorce and real estate or whatever. And they realize like you are a knowledge base in real estate. And that's really what the ads are about, building that, because you can see on the top right, your branding is going to be associated to all this. And anytime somebody downloads it, you're on every page. So all you got to do here is type in the name of the town and click publish. But I do want to tell you, Facebook is charging often $10 a lead for this kind of lead, for a PDF guide ad. Okay. So I showed you like a sold ad, it's $6 a lead. I showed you that a pending or under contract lead, it's $2.40. This one is 10, right? But they can download it. It's good for you, good for your branding. You kind of want to mix up your ads, basically, is what I think. And then the last one, oh, what's that? What did I do? Give me a second. And guys, I see your questions. I'm going to jump in that. I'm going to answer those in just a moment. I just got to finish this little thing here while this is baking opposite of coffee. What's the problem here? Okay. So the last one is a landing page for home valuations. Now, when we started on Google, we did a home value ad on Google. I highly recommend that. And the reason why I started the class is because I think that's going to be our number one way of getting listing leads. It should be, because it's going to take forever for all of you to understand the value of Google, right? And that's the point of this class. But if we type in the name of our favorite town here, right, whatever town it is, that landing page should correspond on the right. If I do this on Facebook, this is not a very effective ad. Okay. You see, like, what is your home worth? This kind of landing page has been created by a lot of companies. Bold, Prime Seller, Brevity has this. They charge you ridiculous amounts of money for these landing pages. And we don't charge you anything. I mean, we just charge you for the basic account, but you got to have unlimited landing pages. You should have a landing page for every town. But if you're going to run an ad on Facebook, Facebook knows that you realtors like this. So I've seen the charge of a lead here be like $15 a lead. So again, a $50 ad in 7 days, as soon as you get 3 leads, that's it. You know, you've chewed up your 50 bucks. I will tell you this, and this is going to go back to our fancy YouTube channel. If you go back in time in the past few months, you will see, I'm going to point them out to you right now. You will see, let's just go back. You'll see in the white text, Google Ads, how to find buyers. No. You'll custom audience, how to target homeowners 3 months ago. Okay, we're talking in January. So that's 3 months ago. If you keep scrolling down, you're going to see also that I talk about, where is it? New strategy to get high quality listings from Facebook. Best way to get listings from Facebook. I recommend, if you want more listings, to watch these 3 videos. They all say the same thing. They're all talking about the same thing. And that is that this kind of ad, because you cannot tighten the radius to the town, is not a very effective ad. Okay. It's just not, because let me show you. If normally I do like Pleasant Hill, because Pleasant Hill is near me. And I will show you, this is the real reason why Facebook home value ads don't work. If I had a page over here that said Pleasant Hill and I'm targeting Pleasant Hill, you would have to go look at the real world and we would very quickly understand why this is going to work. Now, what I'm about to tell you is, in some places it works. In many places it doesn't. And I'll explain to you why it doesn't right here. So Pleasant Hill is right next door to me, right? I live in Lafayette. Pleasant Hill is this really cool little neighborhood right next door to me. And there's like 30,000 people that live there. And I don't know if you can see, there's a little white section in the middle of this map. That's Pleasant Hill. And from east to west, that's probably 2-3 miles and maybe 4 to 5 miles north to south, right? So this isn't like every city in America, but that ad has a minimum 15-mile radius. And what you're about to see on this map are all the people who are going to see this ad, right? Now, I won't reach all the way to San Francisco, but it's going to get close. So my mouse must be really sensitive. Like this kind of area right here. So this ad that I'm targeting, those people that live in that little town, way too many people are going to see it because I can't shrink the radius. And that's the problem with running this kind of ad on Facebook. Now, if you go look at these videos that I'm talking about how this new strategy and the best way to get listings on Facebook, it's going to tell you basically that you can create a custom audience of homeowners. You'd have to buy that from somebody or get it from somebody. And then you can upload it in our system, and it will live, that custom audience will live in your Facebook account. And I'll go show you really quickly. And then you can target those people. So for a lot of you, you have title partners and you can say, hey, you know what? Would you get me a list of homeowners in these 5 towns? And then you can go over here and click create an audience and call it the name of your favorite town, right? And it's going to tell you right here what that spreadsheet should look like. Title just like that, look just like that. And you upload it, and those leads will live in your Facebook account. Even if you cancel with listings to leads, they're going to live in your account, right? And you'll always be able to retarget. And retargeting is going to help you convert those leads. So let's go look at this. Let's go look at the answers. I hope that that's going to make the Facebook home valuation ads work. So what if you stop the ad before you spend the full? Todd, I don't think they take the full 50. If you stop the ad, it just stops producing. Yeah. So if you stop the ad before it runs a full 50, does Facebook take the 50? I don't think they do. Is there a way to know what Facebook charges per ad? And does it fluctuate? It does. Yeah. So Michelle, the answer is yes. right here, you can see that this is CPL is cost per lead. And this client here, as I mentioned, has run over 100 ads in, under 100 days. So he's running a lot of ads, and the cost per lead is different. Like it's $1.79 per lead here. It's $2.29. It's $5.33. I don't know how Facebook sets that. I just don't know. Maybe it's a cost per home. I have no idea. But you will start to see your cost per lead right here. You'll also see, like this number says 2,800. That's how many people have seen it, and that's how many leads you captured. Okay. Now, this is a unique client. It's an expansion team. They operate in North and South Carolina. They have agents in multiple offices. Their goal is to capture leads. So they spent right now 10 grand in 10 weeks, and they've got 3,600 leads, and they over 700,000 people are starting to see them as a company in North and South Carolina on Facebook. I definitely like that alone. This alone speaks volumes to me. If you have a large office or company and you're trying to build buyer leads, this is a great way to do it. If you're trying to get listing leads, we're talking about ways to do it. And honestly, I would tell you this, like Richard, I know you're with an office. I know what it's like herding cats. That is the way it is all over the country for all offices. But every office should be using Google to get more listing leads. And they don't, even if the agents don't do it, the office should be doing it. And you give those leads to people who know how to convert those things. Let's see if we have any other questions. I've been going on pretty long here. Do we upload our custom audience into L2L or Facebook? You upload the custom audience here where it says create audience inside listings to lead, but we're importing it into your Facebook account. Okay. So we're not even holding these. We're not trying to hold on to these leads. They're going to live in your Facebook account, Janice. So that's what it is. So that way, when you run an ad on Facebook, and it doesn't matter what kind of ad, you're going to run, you will be able to retarget any of the custom audiences that you've built. And honestly, every agent should have multiple custom audiences, right? Like this client here has not set it up. He has turned on retargeting. So now he can say display to past buyer leads or to all past leads, right? You could also say, if you named it, you put it on other. If you created one for Pleasant Hill, you could do that. But I think we have like custom audience buyer and seller, right? That's a default when you set it up. But everybody should honestly have a landing page for every one of their farm markets and a custom audience for every one of their farm markets. But let me tell you this, it's the last important piece. We tell you it right here. You may not know what it means. These audiences should be at least 1,000 leads long. And I know many of you are working with developments that are, you only got 250 leads or you got 500 leads. I just set up an office close to Phoenix, and they're like, yeah, we got these areas that we want to target, but really there's only like 500 leads there. And it's, well, then you got to put those together with other lists, because right here, it's going to tell you it has to have at least 1,000 leads before Facebook's going to let you use it. So everybody, we didn't cover all the ways to capture listing leads because we really had to focus a lot on Google and really understand how these things work. I would definitely review a couple of the recent calls on top ways to get more listings. So here's one that we did 2 weeks ago. It's a more high level. We go into it. I don't see any more questions. I appreciate you hanging out with me a little bit long today. I think it's wrapping your arms around Google, wrapping your, I've kind of gone in detail on how these things work, because often agents don't know how they work and they don't understand why results are one way or another. And it's just best to go a little bit deep dive here today. So looks like we're all good. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great 2023. This call is being recorded. It'll be on this page shortly. And let us know in the mastermind group how your results work. for Google. I definitely totally want to know that.
Take care, everybody. Thanks so much.